Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. I know it's been a long time. I have not done a today's insight, took a break from my talk show, but I am coming to you because it is an amazing month. It is Life Insurance Month, National Month. Okay. I have the amazing Sabrina Protic in the backstage, and she is going to let us know why it is so important to have life insurance, especially during the pandemic. I think this was a wake up call for all of us, for families and friends and, just business owners, but it's very important to have life insurance. I'm going to bring her in so she can introduce herself. Hello, Sabrina Protic. How are you?
Good morning, Jenelle. This is a wonderful thing to do on a Saturday morning. I'm excited to be here. And again, as she says, I'm Sabrina Protic, and I have a little story to tell. That's why I'm here.
Absolutely. I'm going to go on backstage and tag and share, and I'll let you take it from there.
Thank
I'll
you
be
so
right
much.
back.
Thank you so much. As Jenelle said, September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month. I don't know if this was planned or normally if September is, but I find this to be very relevant since we're in a pandemic season. And many of us found ourselves without 3 months of emergency income as well as health insurance and life insurance. And now we're in panic. But I'm here to tell you that those things can be rectified. So again, Sabrina Protic, I am a financial coach and I help you prepare for possibilities. So what do I mean by possibilities? Well, the possibilities happen to me. I was a career woman of 41 years in a corporate environment. I was in management and everything was going according to my plan. I didn't know there was another plan for me. And I actually was preparing myself to retire in a couple of years and pursue some entrepreneurial things that I had been doing. So I'm known in the community for being a women's empowerment and for entrepreneurial endeavors. And I had a few what they call side hustles and author of a book and all of those things. And life was good until the possibility came along. And that is the pandemic. I'm sure that's impacted many of you, if not directly, indirectly. So here I am, all comfortable in closing, 41 years, got my own plan, and then I was furloughed. I was furloughed for 8 weeks. I'm like, me? Furloughed? This isn't happening to me. I am a key player in my employment function, but it did happen to me. It did. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? So I immediately thought about my option. I said, option A, I can wait to see if they're going to bring me back after 8 weeks. And then 8 weeks furlough, they said they get back to me. Or I could go option B and start looking at things that I was going to lose, which was income, health insurance, life insurance, and also my retirement plan. What was I going to do about that? Let's start thinking about it for a minute. And I made a life coach also, and I thought, wait a minute. Give the power to them, or I keep the power? Am I going to allow them to sit around a room and decide my value, or am I going to establish and maintain my own value? I chose option B to look out for me, retain my power, and get to work immediately on those things. And of course, one of those things was life insurance because I knew nothing about it. It had been handed to me from my employer as a really benefit, and I'd always paid every month for life insurance, but I just looked at what they gave me as a nice gift. It was a gift. Hey, I'll I'm good. But I really didn't know what life insurance was to be used for. I didn't know if I had enough. All I knew was somebody was going to get some money and I passed on. I figured it was enough to leave a little bit to people and they can marry me. So here I am now because there's a whole lot more to life insurance. A whole lot more. And I want to make all of our listeners aware of what life insurance is all about. So that was my story, and I thought, well, I can replace income. We can all do that. But what about my life and my family's? And I think Janelle's gonna kind of dive into that a little bit with me.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, wow. These are testimonies, but these are real life happening. So thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. During this pandemic, what has been your defining moment?
Well, when I realized that nothing's guaranteed to anyone, we can plan, but there's no guarantees. And also, probably the biggest thing is to always have a safety net. And I did not have that in place. I didn't have a safety net in place. LG, life is good. And I think most of us were living our lives that way. And we didn't have a 3-month plan, a 3-year plan, or a 30-year plan. And of course, that's where life insurance comes in. You can have that 20, 30-year plan. Most of us didn't have that. And of course, your benefits are only as good as you being employed. So I didn't see beyond that. Like, what happens if I'm not employed? What's going to happen to those wonderful benefits and my family, which it did happen to me.
Wow, wow, unbelievable. Wow. So, but Sabrina, I want to ask you a question. When you when the light bulb went on for you, how did that make you feel? I just want to know that moment.
I teach empowerment, and I just figured, okay, this is my moment. This is my moment to prove my salt. Like, this is my moment to walk the talk, because I have been talking it. So this is my moment to walk it. And I had to prove to myself, and I had to prove to everyone in my network that knows me, that you have to rise to the occasion. And I just was not going to sit back and allow things to happen to me. Otherwise, everything that I had been teaching and everything that I had been preaching was going to have zero value. So I knew at my age, by the way, to start over, I'm in my 60s. I'm in my 60s. And at my age, to start over, not old enough to technically retire and maximize my Social Security, because I'd leave a lot on the table. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to give away, over $1,000 to $1,500, $2,000 a month, by taking early Social Security. So that was not an option for me to give that away. I still needed to, earn an income and a decent income. And now I've got to start over. How many people start over in their 60s? That was a defining moment for me to learn something I did not know anything about, which was life insurance, which involved getting a license, by the way. It was not easy. It wasn't easy.
Wow, this is good stuff. You're giving me some leadership while you're educating me as well.
Leadership 101, because I'm telling you, if anybody had a reason to be afraid, it was me.
Wow.
Because first of all, I'm skilled. I have a college degree, but I'm also in my 60s. So I'm trying to go out and get a job and apply when we've got 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds that know what I know and do what I do. Am I marketable? So entrepreneurship was really my only option. Was to do this thing and ride this bicycle. That was my only option, meaning I had to learn. I had to study. I had to take a test on something, state laws and state requirements and statutes and limitations and options and, things that you don't think about during the day. I had to study and learn those things. That was a defining moment when, and if I may, I share another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So here's my plan. I was on furlough for 8 weeks. I wanted to retain my own power. So I wanted to be in a position when they came back to me to already have that license.
Right.
So that I could decide if I even wanted to go back. I had to be in control of my destiny. And so at my age, in my 60s, I'm enrolling in this state class. And I had 8 weeks to prove it to myself. If anybody's done life insurance, they'll tell you, you got to learn. And I said to myself, I talked to my husband, my family about it. I said, look, I'm going to be off grid for 8 weeks. I locked myself in my office and I studied and studied and studied. And I didn't want to just pass the test.
Yeah.
You get a 70. I didn't want a 70. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I wanted to prove to myself that I knew this, and I did. I got way above a 70 on that test. So I remember getting invited to go out on a boat with someone, and my husband, oh, we got to pack. No, I can't do that. I've got to study. I can't do that. I've got to study. It's about prioritizing. There are things that's going to come along that's going to derail you. And, I could have chosen recreation. I could have chosen friends, but I didn't. I kept my nose to the grind. And when everybody was out, hanging out and doing things, I was studying. And guess what? Inside of that 8 weeks, I passed my state test. I was so nervous. I'm like, can I do this? Can I do it? Can I do it? I kept saying, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. And when I took that state, it's a 2-hour test. I think I did 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Wow. Congratulations, Ms. Protic.
Yes, I did it because you know what? I studied so hard and I'm like, I just know what I know. Either I don't know it or I do know it.
Yeah.
And I got in there and I passed it. And I just I think I almost got on the ground and cried. Because it was talk about pivoting. It was for me. That I had done something in my 60s that maybe even a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds aren't even going to step up to the plate and do.
Wow.
And sure enough, a week later, I get a phone call from my employer and said, well, Sabrina, we've eliminated your position. After 41 years. And I thought, you know what? I'm glad I followed my purpose. I'm glad
That's right. That's right.
What if I waited on them?
Mm-hmm.
What if I'd waited? And I did it. And they felt bad. They were like, was there anything we could do? We know you're so valuable. I said, no, I'm good. And I never told them that I had my license because one thing I never do is burn a bridge. You don't ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may have to go back over that bridge again. So I'm like, I'm not burning this bridge. But I was good. And I felt fulfilled because not only had I taken control of myself, but I proved to my family and my children who are now young adults that sometimes you don't make a decision, life makes one for you, but you can still be in control. And I proved that to my kids. I'm like, there are no excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm not getting promoted. I'm not making income. I don't want to hear that.
Ooh, don't I know that too well?
Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, I got my college degree, my 4-year college degree, and I graduated with honors, by the way, in my 50s.
Wow, Sabrina.
I'm telling my kids, don't tell me what can't be done, because I'm here to tell you what can be done. And so with that, we come to the topic of life insurance, because I will tell you, I learned so many things that I didn't know. And I call myself a financial coach. I'm here to help you prepare for possibilities. And how do I do that? By educating our community on how to make smart financial choices for yourself and your families. And there are a lot of choices. We don't realize we have choices with life insurance because all too often they're handed to us. Right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Wow. So what I'm hearing is you took risk, but not only risk, you took that step out on faith because you believe in Sabrina Protic. And this is a very special live, guys, audience, family, social media, because here it is. We have someone that is demonstrating the act of faith, during the pandemic. So I knew that this was very special and I wanted to dive in, but I have some questions for you. What were your biggest hurdles that you were facing, Sabrina?
Okay, well, the biggest hurdle was, I have a wonderful network and I was always there to support my network. I never really asked anything from my network. I always gave to my network, which is what my women's empowerment organization is all about. But now I found myself needing the support of my network because I was pivoting and I was starting over. And I was starting over in a big way. And one of the things that I asked them, I would say, hey, listen, I would make phone calls. I'm trying to get my certification and in life insurance, and I have online program, but I also have field training. Who am I going to train with? I'm in my 60s. I have not been pioneering this. Who knows life insurance? And so I called on my network, and I tell you, they rose to the occasion, and they allowed me to train with them, and many of them went on to get policies with me because it was something they realized they needed. But that was a really big hurdle when you're starting from scratch. And One of the things that everyone has said to me is, Sabrina, this is a powerful education. I've learned so much because I don't sit down with people and say, hey, I've picked out a policy for you. This is what you should have. And I think that happens, quite often, even when you go buy car insurance. You don't go in and say, I want this car insurance. The agent sits in front of you and they pick out your plan. Add this and we can take away that, right? But you don't walk in that door and say, I want this plan, because you don't even know about car insurance, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with life insurance. When you think about it, unless you specifically know and unless you're educated on it, usually somebody's going to pick a plan for you. I don't want to pick anything for anyone. I want to empower and educate you so that you know everything that I know without taking a test, a state exam, in layman's language, so that you understand what life insurance is for. Number one, I think there's a big misconception about that. How much do you need? And what are the different types of life insurances? And what happens at payout time? I think people are a little bit confused about that, even beneficiaries. And also, we provide life insurance for businesses too. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's called Key Man Insurance, specifically designed to protect the financial interests of businesses. I didn't even know that. That's phenomenal.
Wow. This is big women's conversation. This is a part of growing up, right, Sabrina?
Yes.
This is a part of taking control and taking charge of your life, your family, your legacy. Wow. Amazing. Wow. So how did you make the transition from being employed into 100% entrepreneurship? Because everybody wants, that's like the $1 million question, Sabrina.
Yes, because you're talking about a paycheck too. Talking about income. Let's get real here, okay? And I'm going to say, I did get unemployment. I'm not going to mislead anybody, because obviously I didn't start making money right away. So there was a state unemployment. I will tell you that, girl, God is good. I'm going to say that.
Okay, now
it took me 8 weeks, so once I got, 8 weeks to get my life insurance license, another 8 weeks to talk to people, educate them on it. And 25 policies later, I want to say I've helped 25 people inside of 8 weeks. That's a lot of educating, by the way. And the way it worked was, my last unemployment check that I got, I was like, oh my goodness, my last one. The very next week, I had generated income from my life insurance financial services business. The very next, like clockwork. It showed up on Monday. I'm like, my efforts have paid off. I don't know about you, but starting a business, I don't know how many people receive income inside of 8 weeks when they start a business. Usually there's that 3 month, 5 month, you pour so much into it financially. There was not much to pour into it. There was my state study materials. There's my state exam.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty much it, in terms of investment. And here I am inside of 8 weeks. I had helped so many people.
Yeah.
That now I was being rewarded with income. And so it was a totally win-win situation for me to get out there and educate people. It's very rewarding. So that's when I really knew. That's when I knew I was doing the right thing. My purpose was there. I was doing the right thing. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to bless other people.
Wow, that's what it's all about. I wish I was a fly in the wall when I saw that, when you received your first income, because I know it was like that moment. Tell me, okay, before I get into the next question, because I want people to see the transparency. Take us back to that moment.
When I got that, okay, so I'm very transparent. So I'm gonna tell you everything, because most people, I'll tell it. Okay, I'll tell it. So unemployment, $600 a week. So I was getting a check for $600 a week, and I'm so grateful for that, by the way, because I need those gaps filled in.
Yeah.
My first check was $820. It exceeded my unemployment check. Talk about a blessing.
Wow.
Talk about a blessing. I was like, is this real? I mean,
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Just by helping people. And I will say, when I got into the life insurance industry, this is the God's honest truth. I made the decision because once I became educated and I realized I had choices that I never knew anything about, I said, this is for me. Nobody solicited me to get into life insurance. It wasn't anything like that. And I never said, how much money can I make? Money was not even an issue because I believe that you'll be blessed if you do something. And so I knew the blessings would come. So I reached out to someone that had been doing it for over 30 years. And I said, tell me a little bit about this industry because I don't know anything about it. And when he continued to educate me on it, that's when I knew. I said, are you kidding me? I'm like, people don't know this. I mean, people don't know that for less than a tank of gas that they can fully cover their families. Maybe even 2 tanks of gas if you're old.
Yeah.
But they don't know this. I mean, I've got to tell people about it and the choices, and also about protecting themselves even while they're living, because life insurance can protect you while you're living. You don't have to die to get the benefit. And I didn't know that. And I'm like, I got to tell people about this. So for me, when I saw that 820, this is all it is validation that I'm in the right place at the right time. And I saw a video the other day with Jay Shetty. He's the guy that puts these videos on, and he was showing this girl who had lost her job. She hadn't done anything wrong. She was excelling on the job. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom, the typical story when someone's released and she just fell apart. She became depressed. So
Yeah.
She didn't do option A and option B like I did.
Yeah.
It's depression. She realized she had some talents in photography. This is a short story, and someone
I've seen it too. Yeah.
So the moral of that story was, when a door closes, that means one's open for you.
Yeah.
When something's taken off the table, that means somebody's putting a platter on the table.
Ooh,
they're taking a saucer off the table.
Yeah.
Putting a platter on the table for you. And that's what happened, because now I'm working out of my home. I don't even have to leave the house. I don't have to ask if I can take a week off to go visit my daughter and help her out with her twins. I don't have to ask. I mean, I'm not saying I'm all that. I worked in the corporate America for a long time. Some employment is a good option for many people. But for me, teaching empowerment is just not my option. I stayed there out of comfort. I want to say this. A lot of us stay there out of comfort.
Yes.
But I was never able to fulfill myself and my purpose, and that's educating people. And so that's when I found that paycheck represented more than just a paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I'm doing the right thing for the masses of people, my community, and the people I care about. Because let me tell you, this life insurance deal is nothing to play with. It really isn't. And there are a lot of people out there. I'm going to tell you, there's 2 classes of people right now. People that did have life insurance, and they're getting payouts right now because of COVID. By the way, insurance companies are paying out thousands and millions of dollars in policies right now for people who were wise enough to have their policies. There are people right now that didn't have policies.
Yeah.
The accounts are rampant. There are people right now that they're so sick and so ill they can't even qualify for a policy because they waited too late. Yeah. Now they may be stage 3, stage 4 of some serious disease, and they can't get a policy.
Yeah.
If they'd gotten a policy 2 years before that happened, they would be covered. Their family would be covered. But they didn't do that. So we don't know when something's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
Look at Chadwick Boseman. I mean, he had colon cancer. You think he saw that coming? He didn't know that was coming. We don't know what's coming. So are we going to wait until it happens and then try to get on the boat, or are we going to prepare our life preservers now and get on the boat? Because life insurance offers income protection. Can I tell you about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest win, and the biggest thing I learned that your employer is not going to offer you, by the way, on your job, you have what's called term life insurance. That means that as long as you're working for your employer, and if you die, your family, not you, because you're dead, your
Right.
family, your beneficiary is going to
Right.
inherit some money of which they'll use to bury you, and then they'll move on with their lives. They don't offer living benefits. I'm here to tell you there is something called living benefits. That means that while you're living,
Yeah.
you become critically or chronically ill, short term or long term. That could be a 6-month treatment, a year treatment, 5, 10, or a lifetime. That you can draw on your life insurance policy. Now, whatever your face value is, you're entitled to 90% of that face value. So if you got a $100,000 policy, you can draw up to $90,000 to use whichever way you want. Pay medical bills, pay your rent, put food on the table, to pay for your long-term care, to use. Imagine being ill and trying to go to the bank to borrow $90,000. And I've recently learned that, okay, well, I'm not worried about that. I have health insurance. Well, guess what? Everybody knows health insurance doesn't cover 100%.
That's right.
What are you going to do with the 20% that they don't cover? And what are you going to do with the 30% or even the 50% that some procedures are not covered, or they're only covered at a 50% ratio? What are you going to do when not only can't you pay those hospital bills, what are you going to do when you're home sick, trying to recover and getting treatment, and you can't work, so you can't generate income?
Right.
What are you going to do, and where are you going to get that money from? GoFundMe? Oh, I have a living benefits policy. I qualify because there's at least 12 issues that you have. This is when you can't care. You're so sick. Everybody knows chemo. You can't take care of yourself. You can't do. You cannot go to work. So you qualify. Can I get $24,000 right now? Get a check for $24,000. Can I get $50,000? You get a check for $50,000. Where else are you going to get that money from?
Right.
Get it from your living benefits policy. Again, pennies on the dollar. If you're in your 20s and 30s, something like that could cost you $20 a month. If you're in your 40s, maybe $50 a month. If you're in your 60s, it could be $100, maybe even $200 a month, depending on where you are with your health. But wouldn't you rather do that and be protected if you couldn't generate income? If you became critically or chronically ill? Now, of course, your face value of your policy is reduced by the amount of money that you take.
Right.
But that is for you.
That's
so
right.
If you needed $50,000 of your $100,000 policy to sustain your life, there's still $50,000 there to take care of you after you're gone and for your beneficiary. And we only talked about a $100,000 policy. You can get $1 million policy, you get a $500,000 policy.
That's right.
But that begs the question, Jenelle, do you think most people know how much life insurance they need?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people don't embrace it because they don't know about it, and I was the victim of one, and of course the only reason why I had transitioned to life insurance because I worked next door to New York Life. But here's the thing. You just said key. The only reason why I looked into it because it was right next door. And the representative, when you rent out of these buildings, and they will always come and I said, let me look into it. I didn't do any research. I sat down with the guy and I just signed up. Okay. And after talking to you, of course, I look back because it's a policy I had for years, over 15 years. So you know how much money I'm losing and lost? all around. So I'm only saying what I know. I only signed up because it was right next door. So imagine how many people don't have insurance or not even paying attention to it, or they can't afford it. Because I'll tell you one thing, when I thought my perception of life insurance, I'm like, oh my God, that's probably like $500 a month. You know, because these are what you think, you know, and I'm just being honest. But I feel now that I'm moving up in the world, and I say that, and I want to say that respectfully, I'm putting my thinking caps on. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about legacy. So now I am looking for information, you know, versus waiting for the information to come to me.
Right. Well, I think that you know, I'm a smart girl. You are too. I didn't research it. And quite frankly, probably when I was in my 30s, someone came to my home and sat down, and I'm going to use the terminology you used. I signed up.
Yeah.
I left. Girl, he had sold us a whole life policy, a term policy, a rider. Our heads were swimming. We didn't even know what we had bought. He just said, oh, you need this, you need that. And okay, well, we looked at each other. Oh, okay, well, he makes sense. And we signed up, just like he signed up. So with me, people don't sign up. First of all, we go through a formula. It's called the dime theory. And I walk them through that dime theory. When we finish with that, they've got a formula to calculate how much life insurance they need. Secondary, then we talk about the different types of life insurance. There's term, there's universal, there's whole life. You know, what are all these policies? I mean, I don't understand them, because I'm going to tell you, when the guy sold us a universal life, he sold us a whole life policy and a term. We didn't even know the difference. I didn't know.
Right.
I just knew we signed up. I mean, we had a rider for my kids, an extra rider for me. I didn't know what was going on. I just signed up, paid the premium every month. And he said, oh, you can borrow against this money. I just, you know, we didn't know. So we signed up. So the life insurance awareness is, don't sign up.
Right.
Be educated. Go through the formula. We can teach you how to determine how much you need. Then we explain to you the different types of insurances. Like I mentioned, whole, universal, term. What are they? How do they work, and how do they function, and how do they benefit me? And then we explain to you the end result, the payout on those different types, depending on what you choose. How does that payout work? Yeah. Because people don't understand that. Sometimes they think they're getting things they're not getting.
Right.
So we explain that, all of that. And then when I finish that little 15-minute educational session with them, okay, let that resonate with you for a little bit. I want you to think about this, and you know that, Jenelle. I want you to think about this, because I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to educate you, because I was educated first for my policy.
Right.
And then after they think about it, because it is a wake-up call, then I get certain information from them. All this is still Zoom. I haven't met with anybody. And I'm able to give them some numbers based on what they have told me that they need. I didn't decide for them.
Right.
This is what we need. And I kind of give them the rainbow. So some people, you know, in the life insurance industry, they'll only show you one thing. Okay, I can get you this premium. No, I want you to see the bottom, which might be $20. I'm not going to hide that from you. I want you to see it. I also want you to see the top, which could be $100, could be $150, and everything in the middle. I want you to see it all. Then you pick, you choose. I don't pick for you.
Yes.
Because this is about you and your life. And that's the awareness. That's the education. And I feel good. And then they'll call me and say, you know what? We've decided this is what we want. Oh, I love hearing those words.
Wow.
We decided this is what we want. What's the next step?
Because now you have options, correct?
They have options.
Right.
They chose their option. I didn't. They're more likely to keep that policy because they chose it. They understand it. They know the value of it. They didn't sign up for anything. Even the application process. I'm going through the application process with them. Again, it's electronic. They get it electronically. So I want you to know I don't have to be in your personal space. All that's done electronic. They get to review the entire application page by page. They read it. They see everything. There's nothing in there. We all know the same thing. All the cards are on the table. When they start, then it's in the hands of the underwriter. So I want everyone to know there's a process. It can take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Now I know some life insurance companies, they'll say, well, we can sign you up right now today. And I'm wondering, well,
right. Yeah.
When you don't even know my health.
Right. And not only that too, Sabrina, to interject, you feel like you're pressured
You're pressured.
and you have to kind of buy into it now because you're gonna lose the deal. And I'm just being honest. I'm not, talking about people's companies, but that's how I felt. Like I was being pressured and I needed to sign up because something's gonna happen,
Right. Scare tactics. They use the scare tactics. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna spill the beans on something else because I tell everything. So when you get that check from someone, you now have a policy. See, I could educate people all day long, but until they give me their first premium, there is no policy.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no policy. So I'm doing a lot of educating the ones that want it. I mean, some never come back, some do. But until I get that check, there is no policy. So if I was doing the whole, I'm in it to sell you, oh, you need this. Let me I can cover you today. Let me get your check right now.
Right.
Now
Right.
I have a policy, so I'm going to get paid.
Right.
So I don't get paid anything until your policy is what's called placed in force. That is, you sign off on a policy, you've given us your first check. Once we get that first check, then the insurance individual, they get a check. So imagine if I did that all day long, going out and, hey, I can do this for you right now.
Right.
I get a check. I'm going to get paid the next day or two.
Right.
But
right.
in my case, the way I do this is I don't collect any money from anybody until the underwriter has come back and says they're approved at this level. And then I go to them and says, do you want this or not? Yes, no, they do. Then we collect the premium. That's how I choose to do it because I'm in the education business. I'm also in the awareness business and I'm partnering with my community. I have your best hand and I want to make sure that everything that I know, you know.
Absolutely. And I can attest to that. I've known Sabrina. Wow, Sabrina, I think we're going on a year now.
Yes.
So yeah, and that's great. Look, and that's another side topic I am going to mention about you as well. But I wanted to also mention to our audience that the insurance is affordable. That's the difference. It's affordable because Sabrina, I'm also thinking, because you know me, I'm always navigating through things. What if we have an audience that's only collecting in unemployment every week? So I'm not saying what that amount is or the policy is, but I'm sure even if they're collecting $300 a week, they can still afford the insurance.
Yes,
right?
yes. I have written policies for people where it's $19 a month.
Wow.
I've written policies for people where it's $37 a month. I've written policies for people that's $50 a month. Like I said, I'll show you everything. You can get a 50,000, 100,000, 200, whatever. Get something. I tell people, get something. You can always raise your policy. Get something to cover yourself because you don't know. Now, I want to go back real quickly to Keyman Insurance for a minute because I know you never heard of it. I didn't either. If you're an entrepreneur, first of all, entrepreneurs need protection. I have a lady and she had a financial planner and he says, look, and she has a day job also. He says, you better run and get that insurance from Sabrina. He says, you are at great risk right now because you're the major breadwinner for your family. Who knows what's going to happen with this job? You got this little side hustle. You need additional protection. You need to get this life insurance policy, which she did. And that her financial planner told her to do that. So I was glad to get that validation. But also, so if you're an entrepreneur, first of all, you need coverage because obviously you're not getting those benefits from
Correct. Work. Absolutely.
If you own a business where there's more than just you, and there are key man means this is a person that's an integral part of your business. Maybe you have a restaurant and they're the ones that built all the recipes. We don't know. Maybe they're the IT person. If they lost their life, your business would be sunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunk. So we can write a policy called Keyman. It's a term policy, life insurance that covers them. Now, the company owns the policy. And the policy is paid by the company. Those monthly premiums are paid by the company. The beneficiary is the company.
Yes.
Not the spouse. What do they do with that money? They can do whatever they want to do with it, but the main thing is they need to replace that person. Maybe it's going to cost a lot of money to get that sous chef in, or perhaps there's a surviving spouse, and maybe you need to buy her out so that she doesn't come in, or he doesn't come in and take over the company. So perhaps you can even use those funds to say, here, well, this was Sabrina's gone now. And we'd like to buy you out. We'd like to offer you $100,000, $200,000 so that we can retain, full control of the company, and you're taken care of. See, so that's called protecting the financial interests of the company. So that key man insurance is very powerful. A lot of people don't know it. And it's a company expense, and the company is the beneficiary. So that, again, was something that I learned that I think I wanted everyone to know about that.
Wow. This is good stuff. I know if you're watching, put a 1 in the chat. Please let us know. I know we do have audience on here. No one's really commenting. I'm sure they're probably taking key notes. But please follow Sabrina Protic everywhere and anywhere, because she is all over social media. She's on the Thriving Network as well. I have another question for you, Ms. Protic. Tell us, how can we how can we receive the financial education that you're speaking of?
That's a great question. If you send me your email address, then I can, I'm going to do 2 things here. I'd love to send you out a free video. It's not a marketing video, doesn't have my name on it, doesn't have my company's name on it, but it explains living benefits. So I'd love to send that video to you so you understand what it is, because that's a big word. Most of us really still, even though I talked about it, you just may not quite get it. And so I'd like to send that video out to you. Secondary, I would love to do a Zoom presentation with you, 15 minutes, and we would do the dime presentation with you, and you will learn everything that I know. And when we finish, I wouldn't have sold you anything. That's really the end of my interaction with you. And then if you want more, now if you want some quotes on life insurance at every level possible so that you choose, all I need is a couple pieces of information from you, nothing big, nothing personal. And then I can get those quotes over to you within 24 hours. And then you let me know what you want, but we start there. So email me. I'd love to get your email address. If you're watching, put your email address in the chat, or I'm on social media, so you can find me on social media under Sabrina Protic, or my YouTube channel, Sabrina Protic. You can find me there, but I'd love to give you that free education, the dime theory. I think that would just nail it for you, and you'll know what it is you need to do to protect yourself and your family.
Wow, this is good stuff. Guys, I'm telling you, Sabrina Protic is the truth. She's in the community. She's sponsoring other businesses. She has a network that is thriving on the Thriving Network. Very amazing. Her book is just absolutely, oh my God. Listen, I think Trishana even got a book. She's on here as well. So I can't tell you everything. You got to get the book. It's really amazing. One thing before you go, if anyone, let's say the first 5 people were to reach out to you, can you please let Sabrina know that you found her off of the She Exists network? And I'll wait for her to tell me so we can figure out something for you.
Yeah.
Something for you. We can kind of work something out.
Can I say one more thing, Jenelle?
Sure.
I have a really big project coming up, and we'll be hearing about that soon. But I've been asked to participate in a program about people who have pivoted in the state of Florida, and to tell my story. And it's going to be getting some pretty big play. So I'm pretty honored to be a part of that, being backed by some pretty big entities here in Tampa. And it's a pretty big thing. So I'm excited. So you'll see me to be able to represent our community as one of the people who pivoted successfully. And I also want to say that if anybody is interested, and if you love educating people and talking to people and doing what I do, that opportunity is also opened up for you as well. If someone wants to reach out to me and say, hey, I think I'd like to know more about that. how can I do that? How can I pivot in this pandemic? How can I generate income during a pandemic? Because people are still looking, like I was. They're looking for something. I'd be more than happy to share that opportunity with them also.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, audience. Do you hear that? Sabrina, last question, because you know we can go on and on and on. I also have an article of you coming out in the MTM Model Magazine, and it actually recaps the life insurance. So people can find you there as well. And this way they can read and they can look at those questions and definitely reach out to you. Also have you being published in Niche in Belgium magazine, September 26th.
What?
So yeah, you know how I do.
I know that she's a powerhouse. Okay, I support this woman 100% because she is about everybody. She's a leader. She really is.
Yes. So people can actually read on you and see exactly what you do, and they can reach out as well. So I'll be announcing that. And last but least, tell us, what was your experience like when you were published in Sheen online publication?
Oh, wow. Janelle, I'm telling you, I got so many shout outs on that. First of all, that's a beautiful magazine.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful magazine. Second of all, your writing, you are well on your way to being a key writer. I mean, you're just total professionalism. I love the layout. I love the article. I love the exposure. It's near and dear to me. I've never been featured in a magazine like that before. So that was an honor and a privilege, and it was done so tastefully, and I'm still excited. So I have the online. I don't know if I can still get a copy though.
Oh, so we're working on that because it's the hardcover and then the online publication. So they are looking at doing digital copies due to the traffic that She Exists has brought to publication. So I'll keep everyone updated with that. But most for me, I didn't do this because of, looking for anything else. It was highlighting you, highlighting your whole character and just your personality and what you do. And that's all I did it for, to just let the world know who is Sabrina Protic.
I value it so much, and my heart is open. I say I do heart work. You know what that is? You do it too. HART work, heart work. I tell you, Jenelle and I, many times it's midnight and we're texting back and forth. What are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? I mean, we're up like burning the midnight oil, trying to help our network and help all of you. For me, it's not just life insurance. I do the Women's Empowerment Organization, and Jenelle, I have something coming out. I'll share with you later, but I'm doing a newsletter, and it's going to be anti-aging related, and I've got a doctor involved. I'm going to be meeting with the pharmacist. It's anti-aging, and it's going to be an online newsletter. Ooh, maybe you can write something in there.
Wow, blog. How about blogging too as well?
You can blog in it. So we'll look, see, that's what we do. You see what we do?
Wow.
I love it. You're going to love it. And we've got our name picked out. Jenelle, I'll get with you offline about that, but this is going to be great. It's all about informing women. This is our tagline. We support, so we're an anti-aging, but she exists. She lives longer, stronger, younger, and smarter.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Before we close, Sabrina, two things. Where can they get this amazing book that helped me with mirror moments?
Okay, and I didn't have a copy sitting here. Actually, I do have a copy. Maybe I'll get it. But it's called Growing Ageless. You can get it at Amazon. And I'm going to leave the screen for a minute because I do have one here. So hang on.
Absolutely. Guys, you have to get this book. When I read the book, it resonated. I had to read it again and read it again.
Yes. So this is the book. It's called Growing Ageless.
There we go.
Live Young and Live Younger. And actually, I tell you what, this book, talk about mirror moments. So with my pivoting, that's another mirror moment where I had to stare at myself and say, what are you going to do? How are you going to make today different? How are you going to change what's happened to you? Now, girl, you're not just an employee, you're a change maker.
Yeah.
You're a
Yes.
change maker. And you're not only are you making change for yourself, you're going to help others make change.
Yeah.
And that's another mirror moment. So I'm going to have another book coming out. Haven't started it yet, but maybe next year. But it's going to talk about another growing ages, however, growing ages financially and through the pandemic. So it'll be talking about surviving this whole thing because this is major. Also, remember now, I had to set up retirement for myself because I lost all those benefits. So there's more to talk about. That's another network, another show. But there are a lot of things when that whole employment collapses, you're on your own. You're on your own. But I've done it. I've done it. I just want to help all of you do it.
Okay. Sabrina, close us out with the last positive, encouraging words.
All right. So I like to close out with I'm Sabrina Protic. I help you prepare for possibilities. The possibilities happen to me. We want to prepare you so when they come your way, you're set. I'm your financial coach, helping you make smart financial choices for yourself and your family. And remember, the pandemic is 2020. We don't know what's going to happen in 2021. So be prepared. Look me up, Sabrina Protic. Thank you, Jenelle. Thank you, everyone that comes to She Exists. Is a wonderful platform.
Thank you. And guys, thank you for today. Please do not hesitate, even if you need a question. If you want feedback, please reach out to her. She's the real deal. Sabrina Protic is the real deal. And I'll be back with MTM Model Magazine, Miss Fullett Clark. And then we'll recap and touch a little bit about the life insurance world. Thank you for tuning in on today's Insight. Bye-bye.